The following is a sports presentation of Northampton Community Media. With the hope of an undefeated season dashed last week at Londonderry, the WInnacunnet Warriors have set their sights on the next hurdle on the road to victory, the 2018 playoffs. It's the Warriors, it's the Blue Devils, and it's coming your way right now.
I didn't come this far to only come this far. I hear some people saying things like, when I make it, when I get to the top. I'll keep working hard until I get to the top, until I reach my goal. Let me tell you something. There's no end. Winners never stop. If you reach your goal, set a bigger goal. If you get to the top of the mountain, find a bigger mountain. It's the journey.
Well, MH, we've got certainly a beautiful, beautiful night for football. It's absolutely perfect October weather, MH.
A little crispness in the air, Keith. A little bit of breeze out there going across the field. But once again, a great night for football.
Yeah, for those that are, certainly here, we're a little bit shielded from the wind from the press box, but certainly the overall wind direction is blowing across the field from your vantage point across the field to the far side, basically straight across the field. And it was a pretty brisk wind. I know, MH, earlier I was hitting a couple of drivers and some long irons and on the golf course, and it was really affecting that ball flight today. It was really, really, really windy. So I think wind will be a little bit of a factor if they choose to throw the football today.
Sounds like you had a very busy Friday afternoon at work.
It was. It was a little bit of pregame preparation. So anyway, so as we see these teams head to midfield for the coin flip, again, we mentioned a little bit in the pregame. Salem's in a very interesting position. Again, for those that aren't familiar with the Division I NHIAA football playoffs, there's generally one winner per division that will go through and get a home game, and then there's two wild cards in their pod. So the East and the South are in the same pod. Right now, if you look at the standings, Pinkerton sits at 5-1, Londonderry sits at 5-1. Pinkerton beat Londonderry earlier this year and has that tiebreaker. And then over here you've got Salem in that pod as well as 4-2. Then you got WInnacunnet at 5-1. And the other interesting game tonight, MH, is Exeter playing Dover, both teams at 3-3. Basically, the winner still has an opportunity to potentially go through and make the playoffs, but I think if you lose that game, it's going to be rough sledding the rest of the way.
Well, I think so too, Keith, because if WInnacunnet wins one of its next three, they've wrapped up the East.
Yeah.
If you look at the numbers right now as how they lay down, you'd think that the other three teams are probably going to come out of the South. Exeter, there's a possibility Exeter or Dover could come through, but they've got a very difficult schedule.
Yeah, well, certainly Exeter, after Exeter, even if they do go, let's say, 6-3 and get through, I mean, what's really important, as we mentioned earlier in the pregame, is really WInnacunnet needs one more win out of these last three, as they have the tiebreaker over Exeter for their victory against them here at Alumni Field 2 weeks ago. So, MH, it's really important for WInnacunnet here to not get down early again. We've talked a number of games this season, try to limit turnovers especially.
turnovers have been huge, especially against Exeter, Keith. Turnovers and just mental mistakes, and they've brought back huge plays on those turnovers.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we get ready here to kick off, again, this is a very good Salem Blue Devils ball club. It's number 15, Zachary Gibbons, who puts the football on the tee, ready to kick off from the 40-yard line. Trips back, sitting at the 15 for the Warriors, and here we go. The kick is a short kick. It's going to bounce right at the 22. It's fielded by Granger here on the left side of the field. He's able to get up the sideline and make great gains all the way to the 45. A great special teams play, MH, to open things up.
And Granger's been doing that all year, Keith. We've talked about the running backs for WInnacunnet. You've got Kazmarczyk, you've got Granger, and you've got Jordan Fuller. And these three kids are fresh because they just continue to rotate them. We talked about the loss at Londonderry last week. They had 300 yards on the ground.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They definitely, they definitely were able to effectively run the football a lot this year. And then certainly, again, as we've seen getting later and later, these two running backs, certainly Fuller and Granger, they're able to go to Kazmarczyk. They're able to really rotate a lot of very effective running backs. So WInnacunnet here is going to start off on the Blue Devil 45, first down and 10, under center Joe LaRosa. The give is over the right side for minimal to no gain, second down.
It almost looked like Joe LaRosa gave the ball to Jordan a little bit late there, Keith, but it was excellent pursuit by the Salem line.
So second down and 10 coming up. Granger checks out and Kazmarczyk comes in. Second down and 10.
Testing one, 2.
Okay, so second down, LaRosa under center. Again, split back, split receivers, one on each side. This time, a little bit of miscommunication. Fuller tried to come over the left guard, and again, nothing. Third and 10.
Excellent defense by Salem, and like you said, Keith, this is a very good team. They had a tough loss last week. I was surprised to see the score of that Wyndham game. But they've had some big wins earlier in the season.
Yeah, that Wyndham team's pretty good. I mean, we've seen them. We mentioned earlier, they've got a bunch of Division II, championship games. They've had a good program over the last several years, and they're a good ball club. But, them coming up Division I is certainly a step up for them. But on 3rd and 9, we've got LaRosa, who rolls. He pitches late to Granger. There's no room over there, and he's going to be tackled for a loss of 1. So on 3 plays, they net -1 yards, and it's going to bring up a 4th and 11.
And that's great momentum for this Blue Devil defense, Keith. You're going in against a really high-powered offense, and to shut them down and force a punt will really swing momentum.
Well, we read a little bit in the pregame. Salem has a decent line on both sides, MH, and you're going to see a pretty good running attack coming from this Blue Devil team as well. So 4th down and 11, and WInnacunnet on their first series is forced to punt. Here's the kick. It's a low kick. It's going to go down to the 15 to the 10 and sit right at the 10-yard line. So a kick of 36 yards, no return, and Salem Blue Devils will take over the football, first down and 10 at their own 10-yard line.
It was a nice return by Granger, and they just couldn't move the ball after they took over on offense, Keith. So, and I'm surprised. I think we're going to have to see a little bit of Joe McDougal as a tight end. He's a big tight end, 6'6" target, and I think you're going to have to – you can't just run the ball every single time. You're going to have to throw the ball a few times during the game.
Okay, so Salem comes out with their first possession here with 9 minutes, 55 seconds left, first quarter. This time a gain over the left side of about 2 yards. It looked like that was number 3, Riley Mulvey, a junior for the Salem Blue Devils.
And Salem does not have their main weapon, the fullback, Dom Pacey, who went down 2 games ago with a broken leg, and I think they're going to miss him.
Yeah, absolutely. And, this Salem team last year was really on the cusp of going all the way to the state championship game. They had an unfortunate event with a running back who got suspended in the semifinal game. This play is a second down run and well pursued this time. Number 5 for the Salem Blue Devils, William Michaud, a senior, carried that, and it was for just about 2 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd and 5 for the Blue Devils. time the ball is obviously going to be on the near hash. Ball spotted right on the 15. Again, we talked a little bit about MH. This front seven for the WInnacunnet Warriors is a pretty talented group.
Oh, no question about it. And Granger did a great job getting off the block there to make the tackle on the last play, Keith.
So 3rd down and 5 coming up for the Blue Devils. This time they run a little inside handoff, and not much there. Not a lot of trickery going on for that WInnacunnet defense. And they're going to get off the field. Again, a gain of 2. It's going to bring up a 4th down and 3. Ball spotted at the 17.
And much like the Exeter game, Keith, I think this is what we're going to see most of the game. You're not going to see the ball in the air from either team very often. And it's just going to be which team can lean on the other team late in the game, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So 4th down and 3 here coming up. We have Lou Granger here sitting at about the 47-yard line to receive a punt by the Salem Blue Devils. And they go into sort of a full protect mode, similar to how WInnacunnet sets up their punt formations as well. Granger's right at about just in front of the midfield stripe. 4th down and 3. Here's the kick. It's a good kick. Granger tries to fair catch it. He gets out of the way, and it is touched up right at the midfield stripe. It'll be WInnacunnet football 1st and 10 at midfield.
And an excellent kick, Keith. He got a lot of air under that, and really Granger had nothing to return it.
So, Dan, what do you think of these first 2 possessions here for both ball clubs?
Well, the intensity level is very high. Both teams are well prepared. The coaches have played each other a number of times. They have seen each other's offense and defense. Teams are really here. Hopefully we'll continue to.
All right, Dan, thanks very much. And that was Granger over here on the left edge for a gain of about 3 yards. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 7 for WInnacunnet. Ball spotted at the 47 of the Blue Devils.
Nice move by Granger. Really did everything there by himself.
He did. So we got Hoare here on the near side, Chase on the far side, split backs, traditional veer look for the Warriors on 2nd down and 7. This time the gives to Fuller up the middle. Nice gain on 2nd down. He gets about 5. It'll bring up a 3rd and 2.
And it's interesting, Keith, because you'll see Fuller run inside the tackles quite a bit. You see Granger run outside the tackles, and Smarczyk does a little bit of both. But Fuller's the big, strong kid that will wear you down at the end of the game.
So 3rd and short coming up. Fuller checks out. This time you've got Kazmarczyk and Granger in the backfield split on a 3rd and short. La Rosa under center, 3rd down. And it looked like Salem jumped. No flag thrown, and it's very close to the sticks. It might be just short, MH.
Yeah, I thought that Salem had jumped, Keith. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, it looked like the end on the near side here jumped into the neutral zone, but probably not enough. Obviously, we're not right on the line here, but it's definitely short. It's going to be 4th down and a half a yard with 6 minutes and 13 seconds and counting here in the first quarter. No score from Alumni Field at the campus of WInnacunnet High School.
And as expected, WInnacunnet is going to go for it.
La Rosa under center. They decide to sneak it. They have plenty of push from their up front linemen, and it's advanced to the 38 and a 1st down for the Warriors, their first down of the game.
And I think, Keith, if WInnacunnet get a score here, whether a field goal or a touchdown, get up a touchdown or 7 or 3 points, it's going to be huge for WInnacunnet because they get down early last week and never were able to recover.
Yeah, and they got down early last week to a very, very good quarterback. We mentioned earlier, the Courier kid can really throw the football and had a lot of yardage in the first half. This time the give is up the middle and a great run by Fuller all the way to the 30-yard line. Gain of 8 on 1st down.
Yeah, Fuller's a junior, folks, and last week's loss against Londonderry was the first loss he's ever had as a WInnacunnet student.
Wow.
His freshman team was undefeated, and then he moved right up to the varsity, and he never had a loss as a WInnacunnet football player.
Yeah, that's certainly one way to go, MH. And these kids again, like part of winning programs. You just got to line up and keep going. And this time, that's Mr. Fuller who keeps going over the 25-yard line, makes the 24, and it's another 1st down. So this second possession, a little bit more effective run of the football, MH.
And if Fuller can run the ball like he is right now, Keith, up the middle, it's really going to make life much easier for Kuzmarchik and Granger running outside, because they've got to pay attention. Salem's got to pay attention to Fuller up the middle.
Ball spotted on the left hash here. You have Hoare again near side, Chase on the far side, Fuller to the right side of Joe LaRosa. First down and 10 Warriors. And this time Salem jumped. It looked like number 65 for the Blue Devils, Jordan Laboyersi, a senior defensive lineman, jumped, and that'll be a miscue and a 5-yard penalty for the Blue Devils.
And those are mistakes you can't make on either side when you're in that kind of field position, Keith.
So time's still ticking here. 4 minutes, 33 seconds left, first quarter. No score. WInnacunnet driving deep now into the Blue Devils territory, and will have a 1st and 5 with Granger and Fuller again in the backfield. This time there's a penalty flag. LaRosa looks to throw. It's intended for Tyler Hoare, incomplete. And we will see for the first penalty flag of the game what the initial call is. Looks like a legal shift on WInnacunnet, and that will be a 5-yard penalty.
And those are the things that we've seen out of the WInnacunnet team this year, Keith. I mean, they're moving the ball nicely, and then they make a stupid mistake like that.
So obviously Salem's going to have the opportunity to push them back 5 yards or take the down, but looks like they will take the penalty and make this once again a 1st down and 10. So 5-yard penalty for Salem, 5-yard penalty for WInnacunnet, and now we start all over, 1st and 10, ball spotted at the 24. LaRosa under center again, Fuller, Granger, backfield. And here's the snap. This time it's a give to Fuller. He's got a good gain. He's still on his feet. They can't tackle him. He's down to the 6. 1st and goal coming up for the Warriors.
And that's the great thing about Jordan Fuller, Keith. He runs over people. He's very quick and he's very fast, but he has the ability, because of his body, to run right through tackles.
So it looks like they have him down. Ball spotted, looks like at the 8-yard line. 3 minutes, 43 seconds, still counting, first quarter. And you can see sort of the effect of Fuller. He is a really effective runner and tough to bring down. First down, the gives to Fuller up the middle again, and he's got a good 4 yards on first down.
Yeah, and I think the WInnacunnet coaching staff is saying, well, Jordan Fuller is running right over you now. We're going to keep giving it to you until you can stop him.
Yep. So it looks like Granger's going to check into the ball game for Kazmarczyk. 2nd down coming up for the Warriors. They are inside. It looks like it's probably at the 3. It looks like right at the 3-yard line. So it's called 2nd and goal from the 3. We've got Fuller in again and split receivers. 9 in the box for Salem. The give is up the middle. I don't think he has the goal line, but it's down to the 1-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and goal. Not a lot of surprises there, MH.
No, there really isn't. I don't think we'll be getting a lot of surprises out of the Salem Blue Devil team either, Keith. They're going to come out, once they get the ball back, they're going to start trying to run the ball right down WInnacunnet's throat.
3rd and goal from the 1 coming up. LaRosa walking underneath the center. Got Fuller here flanked to the left. He's the left of the 2 backs here on 3rd and goal. The give is to Fuller again. And no signal from either official. There it is, touchdown, Jordan Fuller. And WInnacunnet scores first and leads 6-0.
And that was just good, hard running, that whole set of downs, Keith, by Jordan Fuller.
So that was a drive where WInnacunnet wasn't too tricky about things. They ran the ball between the tackles for the most part and was able to get a touchdown. And pending the extra point here, have the first lead of the ball game. We've got Hunter Mador coming in to kick the extra point. It's up, it's well struck, and it is good. And as the teams head back upfield, WInnacunnet has the first touchdown of the game and leads 7-0.
And that was one of the strongest kicks I've seen Hunter Mador kick all year, Keith.
Yeah, no, that looked really good. So Dan, down on the sidelines, what is your impression of that first drive by the WInnacunnet Warriors?
Yeah, you guys are right on. You know, they punched him right in the face there, smack football. 2 of the best rushing teams in the state here, so Salem should come out doing the same thing. Great set of offense there, great run, great blocking. Look forward to a tough game in the trenches. The game will be won in the trenches, as most of these games are when there's two teams with great rushing.
Yeah, Dan, that's exactly right. Thanks very much, Dan. Yeah, you nailed it. Both teams really run the football effectively, and no more sore on that drive than Jordan Fuller, who was highly effective in getting the first touchdown. The ball falls off the tee. They'll re-tee this. And, MH, with that first touchdown again, instead of playing from behind like they had to at Londonderry, now they have the lead.
That's right. And the momentum has shifted. And if they can make a nice defensive stop and get the ball back, it'll be I think it'll be a long night for Salem.
So this is Brandon Wall, who received the kick, and he's got all sorts of running room up the right side, and he gains the 47-yard line. A huge run back and a special teams play by the Blue Devils.
And he showed some real speed out there, Keith. He just kind of ran right around the coverage.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit in pregame. I know you were talking to some of the staff from the Salem Blue Devils, and they were really talking about this kid Wall as a burner.
Yeah, and he certainly showed it there.
He sure did. Okay, so 1st down and 10 coming up for the Blue Devils. 2 minutes, 7 seconds left here, first quarter. They trail by 7. This time the give on 1st down is for not much at all. Again, the quarterback is Kyle Poulin, the senior for the Blue Devils. And on that particular handoff, again, to number 24, Brandon Wall, that was for a loss of 1. So great defensive line play by the Warriors, 2nd and 11 coming up.
Yeah, it was a big stop by Fennessy, and he's been there all year. These offensive, defensive line, most of these kids play both ways, are really, really tough.
2nd and long coming up for the Blue Devils. They have one receiver this side. This give is straight up the middle. It was an effective run and a gain of about 4. So it'll bring up a 3rd down and 7 coming up for the Blue Devils right at midfield.
Nice tackle by Devin Miller there, Keith, coming in from his linebacker position.
Yeah, we've certainly called his number a lot all year, and he's certainly an aggressive, fast linebacker that makes a lot of really good play reads.
And he really has a nose for the ball, Keith.
Yeah. So big 3rd down here coming up early in the ball game for the Blue Devils. 3rd and 7, split backs, receiver here. This time they choose to run the ball over the left side, and it's only for a game of 2. That was Riley Mulvey, the junior. And that's going to bring up a 4th down and about 5 for the Blue Devils, and decision time early in this game for Salem.
Yeah, and I think they're in kind of no man's land here, but I don't think they'll be going for it. I wouldn't if I were the coach. I think I'd kick it away and try to give them a long field.
Well, it certainly looks like that's what's going to happen here. So it's going to be a 4th and 5. We've got Granger back deep along with Chase. Chase is sort of the up back of the two, and Granger is deep. Granger's standing at his 15-yard line. So Gibbons back to kick, and there's a procedure penalty on the line. It looked like Salem went early, but let's take a look. Yeah, that's a false start on the Blue Devils. They'll push him back 5 yards and make it almost a 4th and 10 now from their own 47.
And this is starting to follow the plan that we saw at Exeter when Exeter came here, and WInnacunnet just basically kept the Exeter defense on the field for most of the day. By the end of the game, the Exeter defense was exhausted.
So 4th down and 10. Now Granger standing at his 20. It's a low snap. He fumbles the snap. McDougal tries to block it. It's a shorter kick. Get away from the ball. And it's going to go out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. So a kick of about 30 yards, no return, and WInnacunnet will be on for their 3rd possession of the first quarter, as the first quarter now ends, and it's a 7-0 lead for the Warriors, MH. A good quarter for WInnacunnet to start this ball game.
And I think Salem was very lucky, Keith, on that, because he dropped the ball. It was just laid on the ground for a good 3 seconds, and WInnacunnet had the return on. They weren't really rushing the quarterback, and he was able to get it away.
So, Dan, what are your impressions of the WInnacunnet defense here in their first couple series?
I talked to the coach, Audrey, defensive coordinator for WInnacunnet. He told me the front 4 defense, as healthy as they've been all year. Looking forward to the challenge of facing this running attack from the Salem Blue Devils. Back to you.
Yeah, Dan, thanks. You know, and you made a really good point. You know, especially with the health of that front four. You know, Winnacunnet's front four, when healthy, are probably some of the strongest kids in the state. Certainly, you look at Fennessy and some of these other guys, McDougal. They're not just strong; they're also athletic. They fill holes very quickly. They're able to get off blocks quickly, and it's been an impressive unit all year. And it's a lot of the reason why they've had the success they've had on defense. So,
and don't forget, Keith, the two names you just gave, McDougal and Fennessy, they were starters on the state championship team last year.
They sure were. Yeah, that's right. So first down and 10, ball spotted again at the 23. This time, La Rosa pitch, he decides to keep it and eat it and have no gain. So gain of 0, second down and 10.
Yeah, I think he just ran out of time, Keith. I think his intention was to pitch it out, but the pursuit was very, very good by Salem.
Yeah, you know, the first possession, you know, Salem, you know, they tried to run wide on him a little bit. They were able to be able to secure that. They ran a little bit more up the tackle, second possession. And then this time here, third possession, you know, Winnicunnet, with all the success they had on the ground, I assume that they're going to continue to sort of pound away here. Second and 10 coming up. This time, La Rosa gives the ball. This time it's to Fuller once again. Ball spotted at the 29. Good gain on second down. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 5.
And I think this is a really big down for Salem defense, Keith. If they can stop Winnicunnet right here and force a punt, get that defense off the field, it'll be very beneficial later in the game.
Granger checks in here on 3rd down, and you know, again, it looks like Fuller's got a lot of skip in his step. You know, he was battling injuries earlier this year. He looks like he's running the ball really effectively. So 3rd down and 5 coming up. Warriors have the ball spotted at the 29. La Rosa calling signals. He goes back to pass. He looks. He's got a receiver open. It's Joe McDougal. He's got first down yardage at the 37. First down, Warriors.
And we talked about that a little bit before, Keith. I think you've got to go to the 6'6" tight end a little bit more just to shake things up. As you get further on into the playoffs, you're going to need to have a passing game, some kind of passing game.
Well, it was sort of nice, MH, because they had Joe lined up at the tight end, of course. He ran just a little out. He needed about 5 yards. He ran about a 7-yard route and was able to easily secure a first down. So that was a good play call on 3rd down for Winnicunnet. They start with a new set of downs, 1st and 10, and a penalty flag and a ball potentially on the ground. The flag came from the umpire, and again, a legal shift on Winnicunnet. So second time we've seen that called in this football game, MH, on the Winnicunnet offense.
And that's shocking, Keith. I mean, you don't see that call being made very much at all.
No, and you know, certainly we don't get a chance to see. It looks like the penalty was declined because it was a loss of 1 on the tackle. So bring up a 2nd down and 11, ball spotted at the Winnicunnet 36, 10 minutes and 8 seconds and counting here in the second quarter. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, MH, where that illegal shift is coming from.
See, I couldn't see it. We'll have to check in at halftime and see if we can figure it out.
All right, 2nd down. This time it's a good give, and Granger keeps his feet and keeps running, and he's able to gain the 45-yard line of Salem. Gain of 19 and a first down for the Warriors.
And once again, Keith, that was it. That was up between the tackles. And he just wouldn't stop. He runs hard for his size.
Yeah, and he was certainly very quick to the hole there. So Winnicunnet is able to gain into the Salem secondary, able to gain 19, get a first down, and now they're in business on the Salem side of the football field. 1st and 10 at the 46. This time the give is to Fuller. Another penalty flag, this time coming from the umpire, and that let's see what they got here, MH. It's the same call again. 3 of these.
I mean, if I were the coach for the Winnicunnet Warriors, I'd call that referee over, or the umpire over, and say, what's the call here? I don't understand it.
You know, with the illegal shift, a lot of times, MH, it's like, you know, 2 players in motion at the same time before the ball is snapped. You know, some of these.
But
types
they don't
of things.
run. They don't run a lot of that stuff.
They don't. That's what I'm saying.
Right. I don't understand it.
Trying to see down here on the coaching, in the coaching staff. Well, Dan, you know, while we have a quick break here, any comments on what you see on the field in terms of that call from what you've seen in their formation? we'll go back down to Dan in a second. It's, you know, 1st and 15, so we will, yeah, it's quite a mystery there. Anyway, 1st and 15. This time LaRosa goes back to throw. He's looking. He eats the football, and he's going to get sacked. Number 59 for the Salem Blue Devils. Carmine Capuano, a senior, was able to tackle LaRosa in the backfield, and it's a 2nd down and 16.
I was watching downfield in that, Keith, and the coverage downfield was excellent. So that was a coverage sack for Salem.
So Dan, any thoughts on that legal shift penalty that we've seen called 3 times now?
Yeah, from what I can see here, you guys are right on. It's normally 2 men in motion. It might be one of the backs in the tight end because the umpire threw the last flag on the illegal motion. That's all I can see from here, but I'll see if I can find out.
Okay. All right, thanks, Dan. So LaRosa rolls out here to his right. He's got a receiver open, but a great closing play by number 19, Joseph Calabrese, a senior for Salem. Made a great job of denying that catch, and it's 3rd and long now for the Warriors, MH.
Great defensive play there. He, like you said, he had great closing speed. But LaRosa doesn't throw the ball very often, so I think when he does throw the ball, Keith, he's a little late. He's a little late. And the receiver was wide open, so if he had thrown the ball just a little bit earlier, I think he might have had a completion.
So we got Hoare here on the near side, Josh Chase far side. Looks like this is a passing situation here for WInnacunnet. We'll see. Kazmarczyk in the backfield. Pass is coming. They run a swing pass, and this time Kazmarczyk is able to dice down to the 43-yard line, picks up about half the yards, and it'll bring up a 4th and 7 for the Warriors.
And he made a great move, Keith, on the outside to get that extra yardage.
Yeah. No, it was, you know, he definitely knifed and avoided a tackle. We'll see. You know, WInnacunnett's in a situation here. They're at the 43. They may decide to go for this. They have all their timeouts. 2nd quarter, 7 minutes, 48 seconds, and counting.
And the defense has done a great job stopping Salem's offense. So I think you're in that no man's land where WInnacunnet probably will go for it. Yeah. I would.
So they're just near the sideline here, and they're sort of going to let some time run down, and they're going to call their first timeout. So first timeout by the Warriors. And it's a 4th down and 7 at the Salem Blue Devil 43. So far, MH, you know, it's been a ball game, I would say, as advertised.
Yeah, no surprises. No surprise. You expected it. Expect WInnacunnet to run the 3 big guys, and we expected Salem to do the same.
Yeah. So, MH, if you put on your coaching hat here, what are you going to run here on 4th and 7?
I'm going to give the ball to Jordan Fuller right up the middle, because if something works, it works. Or I'd do the same play they did with Joe McDougal coming out from his tight end position.
Well, ball spotted here on the near hash, so obviously there's some more field over on the far side. You know, 4th and 7 here, it's very interesting because, you know, again,
yeah, I'm good here.
Seven, you know, with a 4th and 7, they could certainly try to pin Salem deep, make them go the full length of the field with 7:34 left. But it looks like their offense is coming on the field.
Yeah, and I think the coaching staff is thinking, listen, if we can get this first down, Keith, we're keeping that defensive Salem on the field.
Or maybe even a quick kick here. We got LaRosa. I don't know if he's going to try to pooch kick it here or whether he's going back like he looks like he might. We'll see. Yeah, he's going to pooch kick it. It's a good kick by LaRosa, actually. There's nobody back. It's a great outcome because it's going to pin him back all the way to the 11-yard line. Yeah, so there you go.
Good call, Keith.
Yeah, we saw Pat McDougal do that a couple times last year as the senior. We've seen this WInnacunnet team that we know they practice that, and a lot of times it's a good play because Salem really didn't have anybody back to field that kick.
Right, now the offense for Salem has to try to make a move and go 90 yards.
Yep. So ball spotted here right at the 12, so a long field to go for Salem. They trail 7-0. So far in their first couple of possessions, MH, you know, the WInnacunnet defense has held stout.
Yeah, they held stout most of the year, except for, I guess, the game last week in Londonderry. This defense has been very stingy.
So this time a running back in motion on 1st down. They run a little counter, and it's well tackled here. That was number 8, Josh Chase, who was able to bring him down for a gain of about 3. So They ran the running back in motion, MH, and then they countered across with the one running back in the formation, and WInnacunnet did a nice job stopping that play.
Yeah, and Josh wasn't fooled at all.
No.
He saw it coming all the way.
So 2nd down and 7 coming up for the Salem Blue Devils with 6 minutes and 53 seconds left here, first half. WInnacunnet at home with a 7-0 lead in this very important later in the season game. 2nd down and great pursuit and tackle. That time it was number 24, Brandon Wall again, and he had James Fennessy on his back, and James brought him down.
You're not going very far if James Fennessy's on your back, Keith.
For no gain, 3rd and 7 coming up for the Blue Devils, and you know, this WInnacunnet defense so far has been very, very effective. So, you know, last week they had a really, really good quarterback they played against. Loves to throw the ball. They got a couple big plays in the air. Today, Salem really likes to run the football. This time, Miller times it really well, and they sort of run right by his blitz, and it's able for a first down, and there's a heavy hit right near the sidelines, but good play by Salem. First down, MH.
Yeah, a little surprise there, Keith. There's a little surprise there in the last 2 plays. One worked, one didn't, but Salem's got to know we've got to move the football. We've got to give our defense some time. We've got to get some first downs.
Yeah, there's a lot of deception on that play, and Salem gains the 27-yard line and has a 1st and 10, one of their very few first downs of the first half. So 1st and 10 Blue Devils. This time they pitch, they run that same sort of inside counter handoff. That was again to number 24, Brandon Wall. But, you know, WInnacunnet's had that pretty well scouted because they've run that 2 or 3 times. That time just a gain of 2, so not much.
Yeah, I think Salem's going to have to get Wall some space. They've got to. I think they're going to have to bring him out, Keith. You're not going to run Wall up through the tackles and get any ground against this defense.
Yeah, I think, you know, the WInnacunnet defense has been pretty disciplined, sort of staying in their gaps.
Yep.
You know, the reality is maybe against other teams, Salem's able to get people to sort of overcommit and then sort of run back across the overcommit, but not this Warrior team so far in the first half. 2nd and 8. Again, running back in motion. They look to throw. It's a bad throw. It's behind. They had an open receiver, number 10, Mitchell Furness, a junior. And MH, the throw is simply behind him on the slant.
Not far behind him, Keith, but a good yard behind him. But he was wide open, and he would have probably picked up the first down with a couple more yards after the catch.
So on the incompletion, brings up a 3rd and 8. And Salem may be in another situation to throw the football here. The clock stopped in the incompletion, 5 minutes, 13 seconds left, 2nd quarter, 7-0 WInnacunnet. 3rd down. This time they look to throw. They have a man wide open over the middle. And that pass is complete, this time to number 15, Zachary Gibbons. There is a whistle on the field, and it looks like it's a roughing the passer call, MH, and that's going to be tack on 15 yards on the personal foul. Big penalty. Yeah,
and on that defense, Keith, the wide receiver was wide open. There must have been some kind of mistake out there. It must have been blown coverage.
So on the 3rd and 8, they gain 11, and then they're going to get another 15 yards on the personal foul, and that's going to bring the Blue Devils beyond midfield.
And again, we've talked about it all year, Keith, or the broadcast that we've done. WInnacunnet really controls these football games, and they make stupid mistakes, and these penalties are really assisting whatever opponent it is.
So Salem's got their deepest penetration here so far. They're at the 44 of WInnacunnet with 5 minutes and 5 seconds left here in the 2nd quarter. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. This time it's number 3. It's a deep pitch. And pretty good penetration and tackled for a gain of just a couple of yards. That was number 3, Alex Weston, who came in motion.
Jordan Fuller came in from a safety position, really had great pursuit there.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He's just a wonderful athlete.
Oh, yeah. He covers a lot of ground.
He really does.
So 2nd and 9 coming up. You know, the other thing that Salem, that pitch coming right to us, that was a very long, deep pitch.
It was. It took a long time for that play to develop.
Yeah. 2nd and 9 coming up. Looks like Salem's going to burn their first timeout here. So Salem Blue Devils call their first timeout, and And Dan, what are your impressions of this Salem drive? They've been more effective here on this drive than they have the entire ball game.
Yes, Coach Peck seems to have stopped trying to get defense. He's swinging passes up wide and sweeping wide. I think that's the best way to attack this Winnacunnet defense. They're going to use that T formation, faking up the middle and pitching right and left and throwing passes off that T formation.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Yeah, that's a good point, MH. You know, I know you mentioned this earlier. It's like, well, if they weren't going to have a lot of effect running up the middle, then try to run wide on them.
That's right. We have no choice. I mean, you're having absolutely no success running up the middle. They're going to have to change gears a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to have to throw the ball a little bit. I mean, they've had a couple completions, and with a couple more good passes, they would have had more.
Yeah, certainly the couple of pass attempts they had, they've had open receivers. There's been no doubt about that. So this last connection that they made was somebody that sort of came through the sort of the center field and ran an out, and nobody went with that player. It was in a vacant spot of the defense and went for a big gain. So 2nd down and 9 coming up for the Blue Devils. Important drive for them. 4:53 left first half. This time they pitch wide out to number 3, and there's a lot of running room out there. Good formation by Riley Mulvey with a great run, and MH, there was a lot of daylight on that pitch.
There really was, and I really think that the Salem coaching staff has done a great job. They've realized what they had to do and made the adjustment long before halftime.
Yep. So the ball spotted at the 25, and Salem has got it going on offense here. 1st down and 10 coming up for the Blue Devils.
And I think that was Riley Mulvey that had the last big run, Keith. He really demonstrated some speed.
Yeah, the Mulvey and Brandon Wall have been really sort of their 2 primary carriers, and this time it's up the middle and a penalty flag comes in. It's in the area holding, of course, but we'll have to wait and see what we've got.
That's going to be a hold, I'm sure, Keith.
Yeah. So wipe out that run, holding on the Blue Devils, and that will set them back 10 yards.
And it's disappointing for Salem because this is the first time where they really have moved the ball nicely. You know.
Yeah. No. Half the reason they moved the ball nicely, that run up the middle, was probably because of the hold.
That's probably true.
So they're going to bring the ball back to about probably the 35-yard line, and that's where it sits over on the right hash. So it's going to bring up a 1st and 20 for the Blue Devils. So we might see some more run pass here. That's a lot of down and distance. Certainly Salem's has been their best drive of the ball game so far. So good job by the Blue Devils here, getting a little bit of momentum. 1st and 20 coming up for Salem at the 35 of Winnacunnet. This time the give is here to the left, and he's got the edge, and there's another penalty flag that comes from the referee. And I have a feeling, MH, this is coming back as well, and it's a hold on Salem once again.
You know, I don't think he really needed that hold either, Keith. He made a nice cut on the outside. He bounced that out by himself without – he didn't need any kind of hold on that one.
Yeah, that was Riley Mulvey again, and he looks to be quite an athlete. But on the hold, MH, you know, they're going to see where he went out here, and they're going to figure out whether it's going to be a 2nd and long or they want to send them back another 10 yards.
Well, with the time on the clock, 4:16, I'd send him back another. I'd just keep penning him back because I'm going to get the ball back with plenty of time for the Winnacunnet offense.
And that's what looks like. That's exactly what they're going to do. The hold was at about the 33, it looks like, so it was a little bit downfield. So if you get out your calculator, this now means it's going to be a 1st down and 27, 26?
Yeah.
It's a long way.
So they're going the wrong way.
They have to get to the 16, and the ball spotted at the 43. So let's say 1st down and 27, 24.
Well, they're not going to run the ball up the middle right now. That's for sure. They got to get the ball on the outside.
So they go back to throw on 1st down. It's a swing pass out here to number 24, and well tackled. That was Brandon Wall on the reception, and only a gain of about 3 yards. Good defense by the Warriors.
Yeah, excellent pursuit. But I think this is, as we go on in this game, Keith, I think that this offense we're seeing from Salem now, which is a little bit more wide open, is something that they're going to be much more successful with.
So now I believe it's 2nd down and 24. They got to get down to the 16-yard line. The ball spotted at the 40. 3 minutes, 25 seconds and counting. Salem really had a lot of momentum, and then two consecutive holding penalties have stuffed them way back here. So second down, the give, and it's a good gain down to about the 33. So decent gain on second down. That was number 3, Riley Mulvey again.
And a real advantage, though, Keith, for Salem now is they've had the ball for quite a while, even though this drive is stopped and started and stopped, is that they're giving that defense a chance to rest on the far side.
Yeah, good point, MH. And, 2:49 left. Time keeps ticking. Salem wants to could possess the ball the rest of the half if they can continue to make first downs here, but they still have a lot of work to do. It's third down and about 18, so they've made up some ground, but still a long ways to go here. This time they run some trickery. This almost got blown up in the backfield, but there is good pursuit, and it's going to be tackled for a gain of just about 3 or 4 yards. So a little bit of deception by the Blue Devils. Mulvey was stopped. Now it's going to bring up a 4th down and about 14 for the Blue Devils, and why wouldn't you go for it here?
I think you have to, Keith. I mean, how much are you going to gain with the punt,
Could be 9 yards.
It could be. Yeah, it could be, and I don't know anything about their kicking game, but I think I go for it right here. They're, give the ball back to WInnacunnet at 30-yard line. Their defenses look good most of the first half, so.
So Michael Ferenc is checked in here. The quarterback came from the sideline, Kyle Poulin. You're going to see something interesting here, a set we haven't seen here today. 4th down. They fake the handoff. They throw back. It's
He's
a
wide
really
open.
good throw, and it's a first down to the 10-yard line.
And you could see that play developing all the way down the sideline, Keith, and I couldn't believe that he was come out so wide open.
So Brandon Wall, he took a pretty good lick to his lower body on that tackle, but he was able to get out. He ran a bit of a wheel route, was in between 2 levels of defenders and was open, and it was a good throw and a first down and goal at the 9-yard line for the Blue Devils. 1 minute, 19 seconds. They have 2 timeouts remaining here in the first half. First and goal. This time it's number 5 for the Blue Devils, William Mashad. We heard a couple parents sort of yelling up here, MH. It looked like he actually moved early.
Yeah.
But
that's what I saw, too, to be honest with you, Keith.
Yeah. So second down and goal coming up. Ball spotted at the 4. So big stop upcoming here for the Warriors in a 7-0 lead. And we've got about, 1 minute and 9 seconds here.
And this has been an excellent job by Salem, keeping this offense on the field.
Yeah, certainly they're, it's been a long drive for them as well, but very effective mixing in pass and run. And they've been able to expose the edge a little bit on the WInnacunnet Warriors. So second and goal from the 4. This time they throw back one-on-one coverage, and it's a touchdown. Pass complete to number 10, Michael Ferenc, the junior, makes it 7-6, pending the extra point for the Blue Devils. So nice drive by Salem there.
Excellent drive by Salem. Again, the bottom line is they had no momentum going into that drive, and they've just grabbed it right back. I think, Keith, that if you're Salem, you've been outplayed most of this first half, and if you get out of the half with a 7-7 tie, you're thinking, this is great.
Yeah, absolutely. So the kicker in, number 15, Zachary Gibbons, to try the extra point and tie the ball game. Snap is down, and the kick is up, and it is good. So as the teams head back upfield, 1 minute, 6 seconds left, second quarter, 7-7 ball game.
Well, WInnacunnet, what they need, obviously, Keith, is a nice return to set something. They put plenty of time. They've got a minute left with 2 timeouts. They could put something together.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Dan, in terms of that drive, you have to be impressed with the way that Salem was able to execute that series of downs to punch it in for the touchdown.
Coach Peck, he really changes attack on the offense. I think he's come to the realization of the defensive line the Warriors have, and he used the outside, used the passing game. The outside guys for WInnacunnet, I think, have to focus more on containing the wide side of the field.
Yeah, good. Yep. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, that's a good point. They MH made a good call. Certainly the Salem coaching staff saw some things they could take advantage of in their offensive sets. They started running the ball more outside the tackle box. Was able to get the edge able to mix in a couple throws and give a lot of credit to the Blue Devils. They had a very important score on the road here to tie it at 7. And WInnacunnet with 106 left, we'll see if they can do something before the first half or not. And it's a kick along the ground. It's an onside type of kick.
And the flag goes out on the far side.
So it barely went out of bounds.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a dangerous
Yeah,
play.
it really was.
Yeah, so they're going to be the beneficiary of a kick out of bounds there, but you know, that took a while to get out of bounds. Anyway, so we'll see. 106 left, but you know, Salem certainly saw a gap in their kick coverage there, and
well, I think they're a little bit afraid of the return game of WInnacunnet, and they just wanted to stay away from Granger or Kosmarchuk back there.
So they're going to have to kick this from the 35, so they're going to be re-kicking. No time ran off the clock, of course, so it's still 106 here. But now Salem kicking from the 35 instead of the 40.
And I think you'll probably see him actually kick it away this time, Keith. They can't keep going backwards. That was a terrible mistake there.
All right, so here we go again. Salem to kick off, and they run a similar type of kick. This time taken, looks like it's Fuller who has it, and Fuller has a head of speed and is not going to go down easy. They have decent field position, MH, at the 45 with just 58 seconds remaining and 2 timeouts.
And I think LaRosa can throw the ball, Keith. I mean, he's got targets out there. I don't think you can just keep running the ball straight up the middle, but with 58 seconds left.
John, can you press the mute button on the road up top?
Okay, so first down and 10 coming for the Warriors. This time you've got Hoare and Chase on the far side. Here over here on the near side, a receiver. Shotgun look for Joe LaRosa, 1st and 10. LaRosa rolls to his left. He has a receiver open. It's Granger, and he was separated from the football, and it looks like it's going to be incomplete, 2nd and 10.
It only takes 7 seconds off the clock. So LaRosa threw the ball. It was just great coverage out there.
That's right. The near side receiver here is Jacob Klideris. So we've got 3 receivers set here for WInnacunnet, which you don't see a whole heck of a lot, but certainly the time left in the first half dictates that they're in a more of a throwing situation. This time they've got 4 receivers in formation, a single running back in shotgun, 2nd down. LaRosa takes the snap. He drops straight back. He looks up the middle of the field. He's got Tyler Hoare. And it looked like he got tackled high, but an incomplete pass.
Yeah,
3rd down.
It did look like he was tackled high, Keith, but he was able to separate the football. And I thought from watching the play develop, I thought he was open. So I think what you do now, if you're WInnacunnet, you got to start looking at the clock. You have 46 seconds left. You just run the ball out now. Give the ball up the middle of Fuller. Let the clock go out and move on to the second half. But Rosa's still back.
So 4 receivers set again. 3rd down and 10. LaRosa looks to throw again. He looks way back. That is up for grabs and incomplete.
I think that's a dangerous play. With this much time left on the clock, you don't want a mistake, an interception. They take it all the way back.
So 3 and out for the Warriors with 40 seconds left. They didn't burn a lot of time. They will punt.
Dan.
And let's go down to Dan. So Dan, 3 and out for the Warriors.
They should have maybe ran the ball at least once for the clock purposes. You don't want time left with their timeouts remaining.
Yeah, good point, Dan. They still have a couple timeouts left. It's a good kick, but returnable, but well covered by WInnacunnet there. That was really nice. That was number 27 down there for kickoff coverage. Camarado, we saw run the football quite a bit earlier this season. And made a great special teams play with just 33 seconds left. Ball spotted at the 26, 1st and 10 for Salem.
And I think Salem's now in the position where, listen, we don't want to make a mistake way down here.
So at halftime, we'll be having Coach Offant talking with us here at the end of first half. Don't miss that for sure. But Dan will be certainly talking with the coach and get his impressions of the first half. we'll see what Salem does here. They still have a little time left, 33 seconds, and they look to throw. And that pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. So 2nd down and 10 coming up for Salem. So they were not standing pat at all in that.
And this is dangerous part of the field at a dangerous time of the game, Keith. And I'm just kind of shocked.
Well, 2nd down and 10. Again, Salem's got timeouts here, but they still do have a long field to go. And, they don't want to make a mistake either. A turnover on this side would be bad.
Yeah, it'd be disastrous.
Okay, 2nd down and 10 coming up. Salem's got, looks like 2 receivers set plus some flankers. They decide to run the football over the middle, and it's well tackled at the 34. We do not see Salem taking timeouts.
That should be it, Keith, for the quarter and the half.
Yeah, they're really in no rush here. 11, 10 seconds. They may try to snap one more. We'll see. 3rd down, 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. They are going to run a play, and it's incomplete, and that will be the end of the first half, with WInnacunnet having 7 points on the board, Salem with 7 points. So, Dan, we're going to send this down to you.
Yeah, Coach, you seem to have dominated the line of scrimmage in that first half.
Yeah.
Changes for the second half?
Our run defense is good. We gave him a pass play there. We shouldn't have, and we're in the right coverage. So we've got to play better in the secondary. And we got to start running the ball better, too. That's right.
All right, Dan, thank you very much. Again, you guys are watching Warrior Football on Northampton Community Media. This is halftime here from Alumni Field at WInnacunnet High School with the score Warriors 7, Blue Devils 7. We will see you after the half.
Yeah, we have Coach Aaron Aboud here, the AD at WInnacunnet. What do you think of the first half?
Good half. We drove the ball pretty well. Could score once, and then Salem put together a real good drive. Their scoring drive, they did some good things out there.
Yeah, instead of trying to cram it up the middle, they went wide.
Yeah, they started throwing the ball wide. They the pass, the little out route there, the 4th and long was a great little kind of a wheel down the sideline there. It was great, yeah.
Yeah, Coach said he's going to make some changes at halftime and hopefully contain the outside more so. And
yeah, I mean, I feel like defensively we did pretty well. Yeah. Held them to 7. I think we need to score a little bit too, so hopefully we can move the ball a little bit more.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, sounds good.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Back to you guys.
And we're back. MH. A lot of music. We just listened to both the WInnacunnet High School Band and the Salem Blue Devil Band, which I guess is going to the Fiesta Bowl parade in Phoenix. And tell you what, they were impressive.
They were very impressive, Keith. And we talked about the fact that WInnacunnet has got a band back, which is great news for the campus here of WInnacunnet.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. And as we see the teams coming back, one of the things that we wanted to, as we sort of talked during the halftime a little bit, MH, was, adjustments, right? We saw Salem adjust during the middle of that between, into the second quarter, make some adjustments, be able to gain some positive yards, really get the edge a little bit more. And really now putting a coaching hat on, MH, what do you think the adjustments need to be for the WInnacunnet sideline?
Well, I thought WInnacunnet was doing everything fine offensively, Keith. I mean, we saw that one drive where it was all Fuller, and I think they can run the ball against this defense of Salem. But the bottom line is I was very impressed by the Salem adjustments early in the second quarter because they didn't wait till halftime. They made the adjustments immediately and were able to move the ball. And to be honest with you, they were able because they were able to keep that defense off the field because I thought WInnacunnet would just wear them down in the second half. But the Salem defense was able to get some rest.
Yep. No, those are all really good points. And, WInnacunnet after they had a really good running set of downs with Fuller doing the majority of the lifting on those running set of downs, Salem really did a great job late in that second quarter with one of their final drives. And, ultimately, we've got ourselves a heck of a ball game again, MH, and it's going to be a nail-biter. In terms of first half stats, very even, really, MH. WInnacunnet ran 27 plays. Salem ran 25 plays. Winnacunnet had 6 first downs. Salem had 4. Salem passed the ball for just 39 yards. Winnacunnet for just 16. The main ground gainer for Winnacunnet was Fuller, 10 carries, 49 yards. He had the touchdown. Lou Granger, 3 carries, 21 yards. And then, on the Exeter side, you had Mulvey 6 for 33 and Mishaw 5 for 23. Salem outgained Winnacunnet in the first half, 111 to 89 yards. Again, these are sort of unofficial stats, but as official as we get, MH. And penalties, Salem had 5 flags for 35 yards and Winnacunnet 4 for 25. So pretty even overall. We got an even ball game, 7-7 heading into the third quarter.
And I think it's really important now, Keith, for the adjustments to come from the Winnacunnet side. We've already seen that Salem's made the adjustments, and I think I'd stick right with those adjustments in the second half. Winnacunnet's going to have to come up with something offensively to counter that, because I think that Salem is going to be able to score.
Yeah. So as we head back here in the third quarter, I still think, MH, the number one thing here is going to be first defensive series. And I think, for the Winnacunnet side, what are they going to do to adjust to Salem's adjustments that they made in the midst of that first half? That's going to be a key portion of this ball game.
Right, and Salem just changed tactics. They didn't run between the tackles. They ran it outside and picked up a little more in the throwing game. Winnacunnet's going to have to make some adjustments on the offensive side of the ball as well.
So Winnacunnet received the football in the first half. They're going to be kicking here in the second half. 3 players deep, sort of a T across the 10-yard line for the Blue Devils. Kicking is Hunter Madore, standing at his 40, and we're just about ready to get underway here at beautiful Alumni Field at Winnacunnet High School on a gorgeous Friday night. The kick is a short kick to the 20-yard line. This time it's Michael Ferentz who gets bottled up in the backfield and takes a loss and is tackled at the 16. So good special teams play by Winnacunnet off the bat.
He had nowhere to go, Keith, to be honest with you. He tried to go a little bit wide and cut back, but there was no room for him. And Richard Camarado came down and made a nice play.
That's the second time we've called out Camarado's name on special teams. Again, we saw him running early in the year with some of the injury bug that Winnacunnet have, and he's another good athlete, and is making his mark there on special teams here tonight with a couple of nice plays. So first down and 10, they run out wide. It's a fumble. The ball is on the ground, and Winnacunnet has recovered it right off the bat. A huge turnover, and the Warriors are going to have a first down deep in the Salem territory.
And that's all on the running back, Keith. That's all on the running back. It was a beautiful pitch right in the breadbasket, and he just simply dropped it.
Big turnover for the Blue Devils, and Winnacunnet is going to have the football first and 10 at the Salem 13, so not at all what they wanted to get out of their halftime. Wow, first and 10, Fuller in the backfield along with Granger.
This is Fuller time.
This time LaRosa keeps the football, and he gets the 10-yard line, or maybe to the 11, so let's give him a gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
On that fumble, Keith, Salem was once again trying to run wide, though. He just dropped the football for the fumble, but I think that's what we're going to see from the offense of Salem in the second half.
So Kazmarczyk checks in on second down, 11 minutes, 25 seconds left. We've just really started the third quarter, and a turnover right off the bat by Salem. And Winnacunnet is in deep here on the Blue Devils. Second down, they pitch out to Kazmarczyk. He cuts back. Good defense and a tackle this time by number 58, Jared White, the senior, who made an excellent tackle on Kazmarczyk, and he'll bring up third down.
I'm a little perplexed about these play calls, Keith, trying to run the ball wide when you have Fuller in the backfield, and he's run over players in the first half.
So it's third down and 5 for the Warriors. This time Fuller and Kazmarczyk. Fuller is the back nearer to us. And we've got Chase here on the near side, Hoare on the far side. Third down and 5. This time LaRosa keeps it. He's tripped up in the backfield by number 15, Zachary Gibbons. And that is now going to bring up a fourth down, and an interesting thing here, MH. Are we kicking or not? We've not seen a lot of field goal attempts out of this Winnacunnet team.
No, we haven't, Keith, and we really don't. I mean, I think he's untested. He's shown good leg on his extra points, but We'll see if they go for the 3 points. I think you have to if they're within his range.
So 4th down and 4. 10 minutes, 7 seconds left here. A really important series here for WInnacunnet. They really want to keep things cooking here. 4th and 4. This time they look to throw. He's wide open. Joe McDougal, touchdown, Warriors.
That was a nice play call, Keith. That was a nice play call. We said it earlier in the game. We've got to see some more of Joe McDougal catching the football. We did in the first half, and he was wide open. Nice call.
Yeah, it was. They ran play action, and Joe sort of hesitated, and he snuck right into the back of the end zone. And great throw by LaRosa. Good patience by the quarterback. And it's a 13-7 lead for the Warriors pending the extra point.
And WInnacunnet really needed that, Keith. You can't get a fumble that far deep in Salem territory and not come through.
That
It's
kick
blocked.
is blocked. Good penetration by the Salem Blue Devils. That was number 58, Jared White. We called his name a couple times on the block. So Salem Blue Devils make a play on special teams. And, Dan, turnovers are always a key in high school football, and certainly in this case, WInnacunnet cashed in. What do you think, Dan?
Hey, right on there. I mean, the momentum coming out at the half, would think that the Blue Devils would have had the momentum coming out, that turnover, turn things around. Then WInnacunnet getting the ball into the end zone. That was crucial at this time. Back to you.
Thank you, Dan. So MH 13-7.
Keith, how many times we've called a lot of games together now. Every time you see that extra point blocked, you just worry about it and you worry about it because I've seen it and you have seen it a lot of times. It comes back to hurt you.
It always does. It always does. But WInnacunnett's been overall very effective on point after touchdowns all year. So we haven't really seen a lot of miscues on that front. But in that case, Salem made a good special teams play. So give them credit. WInnacunnet to kick off, and it's a short kick. It looks like it's going to land right at the 20-yard line. And once again, Salem goes backwards before they go forwards and don't get much there once again. This time it was Michael Ferencz running almost backwards to try to get around the edge, and just too good on special teams for WInnacunnet.
And running to the wide side of the field, Keith, too. I mean, he's got a long way to run before he can make a move upfield.
All right, so Salem all of a sudden sees a 13-7 deficit in front of them, and will have their second series. First one was disastrous with a turnover right on an initial pitch on their first play. And Salem needs to do better. So 1st down and 10. This time the give is up the middle and a gain of about 5 yards on, 2 yards.
2 yards up the middle. But I think that play up the middle, which they have not had success with, Keith, that's just trying to keep WInnacunnet honest.
Yeah. So 2nd down and 8 coming up. And again, we've talked about these guys a lot, but you've got McDougal with them here, sort of on the near side, and then obviously you've got Fennessy on the far side, along with Salvaggio. 2nd and 8. This time it's a long run, and this is trouble. This looks like it's going to be a touchdown. It's Michaud all the way, and nobody even close to him. No flags, and a touchdown for the Blue Devils.
He broke through the middle of the WInnacunnet defense, and there was nobody there, Keith. Nobody in the secondary, nobody even in the linebacker position, and he had his clear sailing.
So 75 yards, and just like that, it's 13-13 pending the extra point. So a couple quick touchdowns here, only 9 minutes and 1 second remaining in the third quarter, so we barely burned 3 minutes, and each team scored a touchdown. Wow.
Yeah.
And that was a breakdown on defense, Keith, more than anything else, because there was nobody there. Flag.
Penalty flag. Clearly some motion.
Yeah, you're right there on the defense. Seems like it was set up to look to the outside, and once he broke through, there was very little help in the middle. They did make an adjustment when it kind of, but I think they allowed that long drive, long play.
Yeah, certainly. As soon as he got into the second level, there was nobody else back there. So,
yeah. Well, I think they were actually WInnacunnet is expecting Salem now to run the ball on the outside because they made that adjustment in the first half, and then they didn't get it. They got it up the middle, and there was nobody there to cover it.
So a procedure penalty is going to send back Salem another 5 yards. So let's make this a little bit longer kick. So they'll be kicking it from the 15, so a 25-yard extra point instead of your normal 20. Zachary Gibbons in to try the extra point. The kick's down. It looks like it's no good. Oh, my. So both sides have answered. We've got a 13-13 ball game, and that's an important stop there for the Warriors.
Well, it nullifies the blocked extra point for WInnacunnet, because you and I talked about it. When you miss extra points, it always comes back to bury you.
Yeah.
So now we've got a touchdown and a field goal for each team, basically. Or no, but 2 field goals.
So 13 all, and you know, what is there more to say besides, you know, it feels like this game, MH, is, we talked about the halftime stats. It just feels like there's 2 very evenly matched teams here so far.
Yeah, I think that I really felt in the first quarter that WInnacunnet was dominating the football game. Second quarter, Salem made those fantastic adjustments, and then we've got what we just saw, this just trading touchdowns. But I'd be concerned about that WInnacunnet defense. There was nobody there in that long touchdown.
All right, so to kick once again is number 15, Zachary Gibbons. 3 players deep this time for WInnacunnet. You got Granger to the far side, Fuller in the middle. You got Josh Chase up front, and it looks like Chase is going to get it. He's going to retrieve the football, and he's going to get tackled at the 43, but good field position again.
That was a terrible kick, Keith. I think he just got under the ball a little bit. And he picked up the ball at the 35-yard line, 36-yard line.
So WInnacunnett's going to have good field position, as you mentioned. 8 minutes, 56 seconds left here, third quarter, 13-13. Really good ball game. And, you know, we talked a little bit earlier about the wind. The wind's really died down a little bit, MH. We don't really see the uprights, the ribbons on the uprights blowing all that much. So, and again, it's really a beautiful night. Nice chilly fall New England evening, just like we've been waiting for about several months now. 1st and 10. Fuller up the middle. He's running hard, and he has 3 yards, 2nd and 7.
And that's going to be there all night, Keith. I mean, that's why I was surprised when they got the fumble down here. They didn't go right to Fuller from the 10-yard line. I was actually shocked. So I think they've had great success with it. If it works, why change?
Ball spotted at the 47. Got Josh Chase here near side, Tyler Hoare far side, split backs. Joe McDougal here closest to us on the end of the line. 2nd down, let's call it 6. This time, LaRosa pitches late. They've got running room, and there goes Granger down the sideline. 1st down, Warriors, out of bounds at the 35.
It was a great block on the outside by Josh Chase, Keith. He gave room for Granger to get down the field. Excellent block.
Yeah, LaRosa pitched that perfect, too. You know, he sort of waited, and Granger really had a head of steam. So 1st down and 10. WInnacunnet Warriors moving the football here. They are in Salem territory at their 36. 1st down. LaRosa under center, and Salem jumps again. Another penalty for the Blue Devils. 1st and 5 coming up for the Warriors.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of those today, Keith. And that's a surprise. The ball's right in front of him.
You know, we saw LaRosa a few times this year. He does a really good job on his cadence, and he's able to get that defensive line to jump. And WInnacunnet's been very, you know, disciplined on the offensive side. So 1st and 5, same formation. Quick sprint, and we're going to have another one of these types of penalties again, MH. Yeah, legal shift.
That's the 4th one, Keith. I think I've seen 4 in 5 years.
Right. Probably this backfield's seen 4 of those since they started running the veer in the 3rd grade.
Right.
You know. So it's going to be 1st and 10 coming back up, ball spotted at the 36. So really interesting. Like this is, you know, we don't like talking about penalties all that much, but it's really interesting to see that call. It was clear. It must be clear, a clear point of emphasis.
And Dan, you explained this to me at halftime about this illegal shift. Can you explain it to the folks at home?
Yes, it's happening there. The linemen are not lining up. They're not getting set. They have to be set for a second before, prior to the snap of the ball, and they're not doing that. And that calls for the flag and the illegal motion.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay, Tyler Hoare near side, Josh Chase far side. 1st down and 10 Warriors at the 36. This time a sprint. LaRosa keeps the football. He's got about 3 or 4 yards. Let's give him 4. Ball spotted at the 33, second down. 7 minutes, 57 seconds here and counting.
So I don't see many offensive adjustments from the WInnacunnet Warriors. They're just going to go and run the ball straight ahead, Pete.
All right, so Kazmarczyk checks out. Granger checks back into the ball game. Second down, 7. Salem certainly committed to the run. They have a bunch of people up in the box, 8 in the box and sort of 3 on the perimeter. They're looking to throw, and the pass is intercepted. Knee down. The pass was intended for number 87, Joe McDougal, and after the play, a penalty flag came in as well. So a big turnover by the Blue Devils and a tough turnover for the Warriors.
Joe McDougal was wide open, Keith, and he's a 6'6" tight end, and the ball was simply underthrown. And he had to step on him.
Yep. So we will see. We'll see what is the call on the penalty. And right now, the knee looked like it went down at the 27. It's a personal foul on WInnacunnet. That's a tough penalty.
Oh.
15 yards, and Blue Devils, instead of starting deeper in the territory, going to get the ball somewhere around the 40-yard line. Yeah, spotted at the 38. So 7 minutes, 26 seconds left. A bad turnover deep in Salem territory and a 15-yard personal foul.
And I have no idea what the personal foul was. I didn't see anything. That was apparent to me, at least.
First and 10 for the Blue Devils. So back and forth we go. First down. Back to pass.
Wide open, Keith, down the field.
It's a BB, and it's a completion all the way to the 30-yard line. Unbelievable. Great play by Salem. It was wide open. Zachary Gibbons, first down. Blue Devils, unbelievable, MH. He was wide open.
From our perspective, we could see that play develop, and he was open by 10 yards, Keith. And something has to go on with that secondary on the defensive end for WInnacunnet. Don't forget, they've played a lot of running teams that didn't have the ability to throw. Londonderry had the ability to throw last week, and now we're going to see Salem. We see Salem have the ability to throw.
So first down, and there's all sorts of running room. This time it's number 5 once again, William Michaud, and he's down to the 12 with a penalty flag on the field, sitting at the 24. Let's see what the call is.
Yeah,
and
it looks like
is
a hold from down here.
Sorry about that, Dan. Yes, it looks like a hold, and you are right on the money. Very good. So, tell you what, WInnacunnet is reeling here a little bit. They turned the ball over, had the personal foul, the long throw and completion to the 30, and then a run that was thankfully brought back.
The problem I have, Keith, is that these passes from Salem, they're good passes, but the defense is nowhere to be found. I mean, these kids are wide open from Salem.
All right, first and 15 coming up for the Blue Devils. Ball spotted at the 36. 13-13 ball game.
Coming around our side.
Oh my. Pretty good play. That was number 3, Riley Mulvey, who was able to maybe get 2 yards. So WInnacunnet's been all right on some of these, some of these reverses and some of these things, right?
Yeah, Jordan Fuller came up from a safety position to make that tackle.
So Gibbons checks back into the ball game for Salem. Ferentz checks back in. Poulin comes in with a play from the sideline. So, Salem is rotating some of their skill position players here as well pretty effectively. So second down and 13. This time the give is to number 24, and that is Brandon Wall for a gain of a couple. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 10 MH at the 31.
Nice cutback run, but the penalty obviously hurt them dramatically there. So WInnacunnet really has to make a stop right here. And I would not be surprised to see Salem throw the ball again. They've had great success.
So we see number 2 check into the ball game, Alex Weston, on 3rd down here. He's the receiver to the far side. Michaud over here to the near side. They empty the backfield. 3rd and 11. They pitch out wide,
He's
and
got
it's
it.
going to be a first down, or it's very close to the sticks. He's able to run outside of McDougal, who was looking to pressure a little bit, and let's see where it is. They call fourth down. It's short by a yard.
And they'll definitely go in for this, Keith.
So big defensive opportunity here for the Warriors. 4th down and 1. Salem's got the momentum in this ball game right now with time ticking. 4 minutes, 45 seconds left, third quarter. 13-13 tie between Salem and WInnacunnet. And this time they go to a full set. 4th down, they try to sneak it, and I think they've got it pretty easily. Good push by that offensive line for Salem, and it's a first down at the 19.
And as you called it, Keith, I think this WInnacunnet defense is reeling a little bit at this point.
Yeah, certainly, we talked about it, in earlier broadcasts. The meat of their schedule was going to be Londonderry, Salem, and Pinkerton.
Yep.
And here they are. So, and they're all good teams, and they all have good athletes, and they're well coached. So, first down and 10 coming up for the Blue Devils at the 19. Running back in motion on first down, penalty flag once again, and that comes in from the backside judge, and it's an illegal shift on the offense. A lot of yellow laundry on the field today, MH.
A lot of illegal shifts as a result of these flags. Like I said, I've watched a lot of these football games. I can't remember more than 4 and 5 years.
You would think with the amount of thrown, it must have been a point of emphasis from the NHIAA this week or something. I mean, I've not seen this many called in any game, but certainly both teams have seen it, and they know to be aware of it. If they haven't been in the past, they should know now that they do have to come and set.
Yeah, the referees explained it to the coach at halftime. They have to be set before the ball snapped.
Yeah, it makes sense, Dan. So 3 minutes, 54 seconds and counting, 1st and 15. Uh-oh, a lot of people committed to the run for WInnacunnet, and it is, they throw two flags on the play. Both the back judge and the side judge had it, and it looks like interference on Josh Chase on the throw. It was one-on-one coverage out there, and been one thing, it was one flag, but it was certainly two flags, and that's the call, pass interference on the defense.
Well, it's a classic example, Keith. You got to, if you're the defensive back, you've got to get your head turned around and see the ball, and he didn't. So it was an easy call. He made contact without turning around and seeing the ball.
So given that, this is probably going to be half the distance. It's inside the 30. Again, this is high school football, so we will see where they spot it. They shouldn't move the down markers. I think it's still going to be short of the first down.
Yeah, it really seemed like Chase had good position on that. He cut inside the receiver. There was contact, but the ball's up in the air. It's a free ball for the offense and the defense. So that was my observation.
Yeah, I was thinking a little bit of the same, Dan. And then. But certainly two officials threw their flag, and they saw the same thing. So first down and 3 for Salem. This time the give, and there's not much there, and he's tackled in the backfield. Devin Miller with a huge play that's going to give Salem a 3-yard loss, 2nd and 5 coming up.
Yeah, McDougal got a good jump on that and caught him in the backfield, and Devin came in and cleaned it up.
Tell you what, this WInnacunnet defense really needs to get fired up at this point in time here. I understand, the Salem Ball Club's good. They need to make a couple plays on defense here, MH. This is a critical portion of the ball game. 3 minutes and 15 seconds, third quarter, tie game. Single back here. 2nd down, 5. Running back in motion. They swing it out to him. There's a lot of running room out there, and it looks like he's got a first down. Down to about the 6-yard line. That was number 24, Brandon Wall. First down, Blue Devils.
Yeah, this is the first game that I've seen live, Keith, where the defensive line of WInnacunnet is kind of being controlled by an offensive line. You don't see that. We haven't seen it. The WInnacunnet defense, the line will control the offensive line. Today, they're not controlling it.
Yeah.
Well, from down here, I see the defensive ends are being pinched in. That's what I see down here. McGonical's being pinched in. He's making penetration, but they're going wide on him.
Huge play again by Devin Miller in the backfield, tackling Brandon Wall for a loss. 2nd and goal coming up for Salem. So that's a couple big plays by Miller, MH.
We've called his name a lot this year, Keith, but they need to stop here. They don't need one great play. They need a stop, period.
Second and goal. It's ball spotted at the 10. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left, third quarter. This time Michaud in the backfield. They decide to throw. The quarterback rolls. Penalty flag on the ground. Sitting at about the 8-yard line. And let's see what this call is.
There was a flag on the play. Bruins carried the ball.
Illegal shift again on Salem, so it's going to cost them 5 yards. It'll be second and goal from the 15. Wow.
Yeah, you might be right with that observation. I haven't seen as many flags on this particular penalty in years myself.
I mean, you've got to, at this point, both coaches have to grab their team and say, guys, stop this. You just got to set for 1 second.
Second down.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the thing with the VRMH is the whole point is to get off the ball quick, right?
Yeah, right.
You know, sort of defeats the purpose of it if you got to, it's meant to be a sort of a quick attacking running game. Second down and goal at the 15 for the Blue Devils. This time the quarterback looks, he got one-on-one coverage on the outside. It's a beautiful throw, and it is a touchdown. Touchdown, Blue Devils. Number 15, once again, Zachary Gibbons. Great catch, great throw, touchdown, Blue Devils.
Well, I think the Salem coaching staff went to school on Winnacunnet at the Londonderry game because they saw that Winnacunnet's defense is susceptible to throwing on.
Yep. Well, it was a beautiful throw as well. Yeah, that throw was right on the money, and you know, single coverage outside and well executed by the Blue Devils. So 19-13 pending the extra point. The kick is up and it is good. So Salem with a important score with 1 minute 56 seconds left, third quarter, and they now lead 20-13. So a couple of touchdowns, MH, you know, and since the second quarter, touchdown late in the second quarter for Salem, 2 here in the third for Salem.
And you know, it's interesting to Keith because at the time of the first quarter, I really believe that Winnacunnet would control this game. They'd run it right down their throat. The coaching staff for Salem comes out, makes these fantastic adjustments, and they're playing great. They're just playing great.
Yeah, they are. They are.
And they appear to be moving the ball at will against this Winnacunnet defense.
As we wait for this kickoff, again, we want to thank all the volunteers here for Channel 22, Northampton Community Media. You know, we've got Troy Klideris here and Luke Begnerick. We've got Warren Sloan, Mike Tobia, Dan Newell down on the sidelines, you've heard Tom Hunter and our executive producer, John Stavastano. We want to thank all these awesome volunteers that get here early in the afternoon on Friday, set up all the equipment, get this ready to be broadcast for your enjoyment, and we thank all of them tremendously for bringing community spirit and community television right into your homes. 20-yard line received by Kazmarczyk. He's got running room. He gets to the 45, and he's tackled at the 46. So another good special teams return for Winnacunnet.
We've seen that all year, Keith. They have great ability to run the ball with several players. All right, I think it's time for the Winnacunnet offense to show you something, Keith. They've got to move the ball in this set of downs.
With no turnovers, first down and 10, ball spotted at the 46. Tyler Hoare here near side. Josh Chase far side. Split backs. First down. Give is up the middle and not much there.
Well, LaRosa doesn't throw the ball that much, especially after coming off the interception. He may be a little rattled, so Winnacunnet's going to have to go back to doing the same thing they did before.
That was Jordan Labaseri, the senior on the tackle, number 65 that you see there in the center of the defensive line for Salem. Second down and 8, gain of 2 on that play. LaRosa under center. This time LaRosa decides to keep it. He's got some yards. He gains to about the 46. Third down and short coming up for the Warriors.
And LaRosa really hasn't kept the ball that often this evening. In the past, he's run the ball much more rather than give it up to Fuller or Granger or Kazmarczyk.
Yeah, there's a big third down play here for the Warriors. Obviously, with the momentum seems to be going into the Salem side here.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. And with 44 seconds left here, it's a crucial third down and 3. Ball spotted at the 47. There is motion on the play. It's a false start, a really bad penalty at a bad time for Winnacunnet. It's going to set up a 3rd and 8. Can't have those mistakes, MH.
And we've seen it all year, Keith. We've talked about it all year. You know, they snake bite themselves.
Ball spotted now at their own 48, 3rd down and 8. 31 seconds and counting here in the 3rd quarter. So a little bit more difficult here for Winnacunnet, and you know, still only a 1-touchdown ball game. They trail 20-13 here. They need to make plays. 3rd and 8. LaRosa looks to throw. It's well blocked. He looks up the middle, and it's intercepted once again. The pass was intended for Granger, and it was intercepted this time by number 30. Who is that? Yeah, number
19, I believe.
Number 19, yes, Joseph Calabrese. Just like that, MH, another key turnover, and Salem now has the lead in the ball with just 6 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter.
And I think that was kind of predictable, Keith. I mean, let's be honest. Joe's a very good quarterback. Okay, Joe LaRosa is a very good quarterback, but he doesn't throw the ball that often. This is not like we had Pat McDougal last year who threw the ball all the time. And after throwing the previous interception, he came back and threw another one. So he's going to be a little bit nervous throwing the ball in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, it seems like the Blue Devils have gotten them out of their offense. Winnacunnet started off jamming the ball, and now they're totally out of the offense they prepared prior.
Speaking of out of sync, there's another penalty flag on the ground. I believe this is going to be a false start on Salem. So for those that are counting at home, that feels like it's about 20 penalties in the game.
Yeah. And I know that, listen, I don't want to second guess the coaching staff, but you've got Jordan Fuller in the backfield who's just run all over the Salem defense, and you kind of got the ball away from him.
So 1st down and 15 coming up for the Blue Devils. Ball spotted now at the 24. This will probably be the last play of the 3rd quarter. And Winnacunnet really needs to get off the field on some sort of 3 and out, because Salem has really took it to them on offensive series late in the 2nd quarter, and minus the one bad turnover they had also in the 3rd quarter. Another penalty, illegal substitution. I'm not sure what it was. Delay a game. Let's see. Yeah, delay of game. That's a bad penalty.
What Salem is doing to Winnacunnet is what Winnacunnet usually does to its opponent. Salem's kept a Winnacunnet defense on the field most of this 3rd quarter.
So 1st and 20. So Salem, you know, with an opportunity to try to eat some clock here a little bit with a 7-point lead. Again, still 4 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, has given themselves 2 penalties right off the bat, and that ball is handed off up the middle, gain of about 3 to the 21, and that's the end of the 3rd quarter, with the Salem Blue Devils having a big 3rd quarter and taking the lead on the hometown Winnacunnet Warriors 20-13.
And this is it, like we talked about early in the game, Keith. This is a big game for Salem. They're still in this playoff hunt. And Winnacunnet, listen, they have to win one of their last 3, and they're gonna win the East. The South's up for grabs. And if they win, if Salem can come out and beat Winnacunnet, it's a huge game.
Yeah, right now we talked about it earlier. Salem's got 2 losses, but Salem has already played, you know, the likes of Londonderry, right? They've played some of these tougher teams, so. You know, for them, you know, we talked about the 2 wild cards can come out of one of the divisions. So it could be the case where there's just a division winner and nobody else comes out of the East. That's a distinct possibility.
And after this game, all they've got is Spalding and Dover, I believe.
Yeah,
and so, I mean, the chances of them winning out if they beat Winnacunnet are very good.
Yeah, that's a huge game for Winnacunnet too. I mean, you know, they went into. You know, Londonderry with that 18-game winning streak, and, you know, they lost a tough one and, you know, made some mistakes there, but played a decent game, but lost on the road. This time this one's at home. And, you know, Salem's sort of doing to them what they do to other opponents, which is, you know, run the football effectively. This time they've mixed in a lot of good throws. This Salem team looks really good, MH. They really do.
They really do.
So a real test here for the Warriors. 2nd down and 18. To start the 4th quarter. Quarterback is back to pass. They throw it back across. There's some running room A lot of running room up the sideline. First down, Salem, again, number 7. Kyle Poulin threw that.
What I'm really impressed by, Keith, is the adjustments made by the Salem coaching staff.
Yeah.
They saw something. They got away right away from the running the ball straight up the middle and got right into this game plan in the second quarter.
Yeah.
And it's been extremely effective.
Yeah, Riley Mulvey had a big gain there, and it's at the 42-yard line, first down and 10. Salem decides to run the football on first down. This time, not much there. Pretty good defense by WInnacunnet, gain of 1.
And WInnacunnet's got to step up right here, Keith.
They do. They do.
Minute 37 left in the fourth quarter, or in the game, and WInnacunnet needs to stop. They need the ball back and get some kind of momentum.
Well, certainly, as we've seen, we've seen a lot of this WInnacunnet blue defense in the second half, and they're going to have to find some will here to get their team and get their offense back on the field here. 2nd and 9. Oh, good run play, and it's going to be close. I think he's got the sticks for the first down based on where he went out. Let's see where they mark it, but a good second effort run this time by number 5, William Michaud, who's been really good.
And he really ran hard on that one, Keith. He ran over a couple people.
Yeah, so it looks like he stepped out of bounds, actually, right at the 50, so it's a 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, it looks like WInnacunnet defense might be getting a little tired. A lot of players out there with their hands on their hips.
You're right, Dan. That's what we can see up here as well. That being said, it's a crucial 3rd down. They try to run blitz here, and they have the run blitz. It's Devin Miller who timed it perfectly and tackles for a loss back at the 46.
Great play by Devin. He really read that perfectly, Keith.
That is a huge play in the ball game by the WInnacunnet defense, and now it looks like Salem may be forced to punt the football here. What a play by Miller. That was a special play.
And a special time.
That was well timed. I mean, it was a good play call, and they needed some sort of play like that to get off the field. So nice job by the WInnacunnet defense. Now let's see if they can get a special teams play. 4th down. It's a good snap. It's a decent kick as well. It's going to drive back Granger all the way to the 18, and he fair catches it. So fair catch and pretty good kick by the Salem kicker, and it's going to drive WInnacunnet to start their 4th quarter here. 10-17 left to play, MH, inside of their own 20, 1st and 10.
Now I'll be fascinated to see what Coach Alfont calls for his offense here. He's got to do something a little bit different.
Yeah, well, certainly, they've tried to throw the ball a little bit, and unfortunately, they've thrown it into a couple of interceptions here. So, again, it's only a 7-point game here, so you got to still take care of the football, but you got to make some yards. This time it's Fuller, and he's got a couple. He's got about 3 yards, yeah. 2nd and 7.
Well, if I were the coaching staff for Salem, I'd say to myself, listen, LaRosa is not going to throw the ball again. Okay, he's not going to throw into coverage. His confidence is go out in front of the football. So what are they going to do? They're going to run Granger outside and Fuller inside.
So Kazmarczyk checks in here, 2nd and 7. Got Josh Chase here near side, Tyler Hoare far side. Single coverage out on those folks, and really 8 in the box and a safety for Salem on defense on 2nd down. This time LaRosa keeps the football, and he does a good job picking up yards on 2nd down. He's got the 27-yard line. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 2.
This is a big 3rd down for WInnacunnet, Keith, because if they're not going to go on 4th down here, so they really need to pick up a 1st down here.
9 minutes 25 seconds left here, 4th quarter. WInnacunnet trails 20-13 with the football on a crucial 3rd and 2. This time the give is up the middle, and they've got the 1st down. It looks like where the side jug comes in is north of the 30-yard line, and they're going to move the sticks. So good job by WInnacunnet. They get a 1st down, move the chains, and we're inside of 9 minutes here, 4th quarter.
And the clock just really does become an issue pretty soon. Not quite yet, but it's going to become an issue. They really have to get down and score a touchdown on this set of downs.
All right, so 1st down coming up for the Warriors. 8 minutes, 43 seconds, and counting. This time, the give is kept by La Rosa, and he's got 5 yards. So he's been doing a lot of that today, MH. They're really, certainly on those inside runs, they've got quite a bit of focus on Fuller.
Yeah, they really have to. I mean, we saw him have such great success. You know, I mean, he's a big, strong kid.
So 5-yard gain by La Rosa makes it a 2nd down and 5. 8 minutes and 14 seconds left here. Josh Chase near side. McDougal again as the tight end on the end of the line here, near side. Split backs on 2nd down. This time the give is up the middle to the Cass Marsick, and he's got a quick gainer. 1st down, Warriors, ball spotted at the 41, 7:58.
And this is exactly the success they had in the first half, Keith, and then they went away from it. But I think they've got to go back to what they do best.
All right, so Winnacunnet's got 2 first downs on this possession. Their drive started at their own 19. They're now at their own 41. 1st and 10, Winnacunnet. This time, Fuller goes in motion to be a lead blocker for Granger, who tries to get the edge. Pretty well defended, but it's after a gain of 4, so good gain by Granger. I like that little look, MH, with Fuller sort of coming in motion, becoming almost like a lead blocking fullback.
I like it too, Keith. It's the first time we've seen that play tonight. I've seen it once before against Exeter, but it's impressive because Fuller is a big, strong kid. He plays safety on the defense. He's just a great football player.
So Granger and Fuller in the backfield again, 2nd down and 5. Inside of 7 minutes here, 4th quarter. Oh, a little bit of an exchange issue. This time, Granger is able to make a move. He's down the sidelines, and he's able to gain the 42-yard line of Salem. 45, it looks like he stepped out of bounds at the 45, but it still is good enough for a Winnacunnet 1st down, and they've got a drive going here, MH.
Yeah, it looks like the offense finally has a little bit of urgency in their step, Keith.
Yeah, right, MH. Yeah, they're getting back to their game plan, and it's working very effective at this time.
Yeah, it reminds exactly what happened in the first quarter, the first set of downs that Winnacunnet had.
So 1st and 10, Winnacunnet. This time the give is looks like there's a fumble on the ground, and it looks like Salem has the football. Yes, they do, and it's a very, very crucial turnover. And Salem has recovered at the 45, MH, with 6:38 to play.
But these devastating mistakes by Winnacunnet, we've seen it all year long. These turnovers and penalties. It'll stop any team.
Wow. That was surprising. So 1st down coming up, and now Salem has really a great opportunity here to sort of seal this game with some couple of 1st downs here. 6:38 left to play. The Winnacunnet defense needs immediate stops, and this time it's a good gainer on 1st down. This time, number 24, Brandon Wall, has 7 on 1st down, and that's a key pickup on a 1st down.
The same play they've run before on the cutback, Keith.
Yeah. You know, certainly with the Winnacunnet defense charged up, it's not a bad play to call. 2nd down and 3. This is a real crucial point in the game, MH. I mean, Winnacunnet has got to be able to get the ball back to their offense. There's not going to be a ton of time if they do. This time it's another big gain. Wow, Salem's doing a great job. That's number 5, William Michaud, who's had a heck of a game today.
And once again, Salem has done to Winnacunnet what Winnacunnet usually does to their opponent. That defense has been on the field for a long, long time, and they're tired. It's obvious.
Yep.
And a lot of these Winnacunnet players go both ways.
Yeah, that's right, Dan. And you know, 5 minutes, 45 seconds left. Salem continues to pound the football on them. Ball spotted at the 35. 1st down for the Blue Devils, and a penalty flag. False start on the offense. Boy, Salem just keeps shooting themselves in the foot with these little 5-yard penalties, too.
Neither team has played a very clean game, let's be honest.
All right, so 1st and 15 coming up. Ball spotted at the 40. 5 minutes, 30 seconds. Time still is running here. Winnacunnet needs a stop and then is going to need the full length of the field potentially for a tying touchdown if they can get back into this ball game. But the first things first here, they need a stop. 1st and 15, they pitch out wide, and they have decent pursuit out there, and it's a tackle for a gain of just for a couple MH. So pretty good job by the Winnacunnet defense on the left side.
And the clock stops, not out of bounds. Or
so 2nd down and, gosh, really no gain, so 2nd and 15, yeah. So ball spotted just really inside the 40. So, again, they've been trying to run a lot of these misdirections, these reverse plays, and Winnacunnet's done a pretty good job on them for the most part. So 2nd down and long. This time they drop straight back to throw. They have a wide open receiver who drops the football. Unbelievable.
that was a beautiful throw, Keith, and he was wide open, and it would have been a touchdown.
Oh, that was Josh Chase in coverage on the sideline, and he had one-on-one on the outside. He got beat. And another beautiful ball thrown by the quarterback, Kyle Poulin. He's done a nice job tonight.
He really has. And I think they just surprised Winnacunnet there. You got 5 minutes left in the game, and you've got a 7-point lead, and you think that they're just going to keep the ball on the ground and get rid of the clock.
So a huge drop by Salem. 3rd and long coming up. Winnacunnet's trying to get off the field. They look to throw again. They go up top. They have a receiver open, and Granger taps it, and it's intercepted by Tyler Hoare in the backfield all the way at the 7-yard line, but a turnover that Winnacunnet needs with 4:59 left to play in the 4th quarter.
And a great play by Granger, just tapped the ball up in the air, and his teammate came down with the football. But they've got a long way to go, Keith. They're going to pick up the ball at, what, the 5-yard line?
Boy, they've been picking on that secondary a little bit and had a lot of success. That time Granger made a great play on the ball. He really closed it.
But I think that secondary is very vulnerable, Keith, as we go down to the end of the season.
Okay, here we go. So 5 minutes left to play in the ball game. Winnacunnet down 7. They've got to go 90-plus yards. They have an open oh, my goodness. It was Tyler Hoare on a slant. It was overthrown, and it was right in the hands of number 1, Derek Bosworth, the senior for Salem, and he dropped it.
LaRosa must be losing some confidence in his throwing game. He's thrown 2 interceptions, and that should have been a 3rd right there.
Wow. 2nd down, ball spotted at the 7-yard line, 4:56, but my goodness gracious. Salem almost had another key turnover here. 2nd down. This time they give it up the middle and not much there. I mean, you got to be able to throw the football a little bit, MH. I mean, you know, that play was open. Tyler Hoare had a bunch of room on a slant in one-on-one coverage.
Well, when you start getting into these games against the South is a lot stronger than the East this year. You've got to be multidimensional because they're just going to sit there and wait for you, you know?
Right. Yeah, and this Salem front 7, they've been tough.
Oh,
they've
they're
been
big.
a match.
Yep.
They've certainly been the equal match for this Winnacunnet line that's been beating up on so many people the last couple of years. LaRosa looks to throw. They have the screen on, and they've got Fuller with speed, and he's got a 1st down at the 25. A great play call. They run a screen, and Fuller's able to keep the chains moving for the Warriors with 4:09 left to play.
This shows a lot of guts by LaRosa. He stood in there, Keith, after having, like I said, thrown some terrible footballs tonight and threw a nice play to Jordan Fuller.
1st down and 10 at the 25. Tyler Hoare here near side, far side. Josh Chase. They've got Fuller again in the backfield with Granger. 3:48 to play, 1st down. This time LaRosa keeps it, pitches late, and that's Kazmarczyk. Sorry about that. That's Kazmarczyk, and he's stopped for a loss of 4. Just nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, and the pitch was high, Keith. It was a nice job by Kazmarczyk just bringing that down.
All right, so 3 minutes and 28 seconds, and they still have 77 yards to go for a needed touchdown with 3:20 to play. Winnacunnet has all their timeouts, 2nd and 11. LaRosa under center. He's back to throw. He looks. He's scrambling. He's in trouble. He's in trouble. He gets back. It's a good job by Granger to come back for the ball, but it falls incomplete, MH, and it's third down.
Yeah, we saw Pat McDougal, not Pat, Joe McDougal all the way down the field, and it was pretty good coverage out there, Keith.
Yeah.
They're not going to get beat long.
No. 3rd and 11 coming up for the Warriors, and they're certainly in a position here. They still have 3 timeouts, but they're in a position where they probably have to go for things here.
Well, they've got to pick up. I don't know if we go on 4th down with this field position.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh, it's terrible decision.
It's inside 3 minutes, I know. Yeah. All right, here we go. 3rd down and 11 coming up. They're looking to throw again. LaRosa, he's scrambling. He's
trying to get to McDougal.
Up for grabs, and it's incomplete. There was 3 players covering Joe McDougal there. That was unlikely to be completed, and now it's 4th down.
Well, I think they figured that Joe could go, because he's so big, go up and get the football, but he did throw it into triple coverage. And I looked around the field, there was nobody else open.
That's a pretty tough pass. Right-handed quarterback rolling to his left. Very difficult coming across your body from that position.
So a terrible penalty coming up here for the Salem Blue Devils here. It's a personal foul, roughing the passer. You cannot take that penalty inside of 3 minutes, MH. That was going to be a 4th and 11. That now is a 1st down and 10 at the 38 for the Warriors.
And both teams just continue to harm themselves with these penalties.
1st and 10. WInnacunnet has the football. Joe LaRosa looks to throw again. They've got Granger.
Another flag in the field, Keith.
That looks like it's in the area of holding.
It does.
And there it is, holding on the Warriors.
So Salem has a terrible foul, and then WInnacunnet just hands it back to him.
Well, certainly, a lot of the scrambling, MH, everything else, likely that he'll probably get a hold in some of those areas. And now, WInnacunnet is going to have to take there's a hold in the backfield, right? So it's going to be like a 1st and 23. They need to make the 48 of WInnacunnet, and the ball spotted at the 25. 1st down and 23 for the Warriors. LaRosa looks to throw. They cover Fuller. He's going to scramble on the run. He's got minimal gain. I mean, he's got about 6-7 yards there on 1st down. So not a bad play. That looked like that was Josh Chase who came back for the ball, and he did get out of bounds, which was smart. So it's now going to bring up a 2nd down and about, let's say 15. So gain of 8. Not bad.
Yeah, and from our perspective up here, Keith, I looked down the field when LaRosa was running around. There's just nothing open. I mean, you're not going to get deep on Salem right now.
You saw Salem on this last play. They weren't going to get fooled in that screen again. They had Fuller covered out of the backfield. So 2nd down and 15. LaRosa looks to throw again. They run a little bit of a draw. There's Fuller. Fuller runs hard. He's got 7. 3rd down and 8 coming up. Ball spotted at the 41. 2 minutes, 23 seconds. WInnacunnet has all their timeouts, but time is ticking. 2:15 and counting here, 4th quarter. They still have 59 yards to go.
But like you said, Keith, they have all their timeouts. I mean, if they can keep the ball moving, they've got plenty of time.
They do. 3rd and 7 coming up for WInnacunnet. They had a 1st and 23 they had to deal with after the holding penalty. Now it's 3rd and 7. This time LaRosa keeps it, pitches late. This play's in trouble, and he's tackled in the backfield. Lou Granger is brought down by number 5, William Michaud, who's had a heck of a ball game, MH. He's been a tremendous player.
Yeah, you've called his name quite a bit, Keith.
Yeah.
And once again, I think that pitch was a little late. By the time Granger got the football, he had 2 guys on him.
All right, 4th and 11, MH. The ball game sort of is in peril at this point.
It's right here.
It's right here in front of you. So I guess, MH, one of the things that you always like to think of in a 4th 11 is, if you put your coaching hat on, is do I have a play that they haven't either seen or scouted or something that can give a little bit of a different look than what Salem's been able to sort of learn during this ball game.
I think most teams do have a end of the game play like this where they really have to come down to it. The problem you have is this, Keith.
Yeah, the few games that I've seen, I haven't seen too many reverses or half passes. They're going to have to pull something out of the hat here, though.
Well, they sure do. They sure do. And they can't throw the ball. And Salem's looking for them to throw the ball. So it's going to be, you know, Salem's going to, they're not going to let anybody get down deep on them, back deep on them. And we'll see.
So it looks like Winnacunnet's going shotgun here. They've got Hoare and Chase over to the far side. They have Granger in the backfield, and then here comes Kazmarczyk in late. 4th down and 11. La Rosa back to throw. He's got time. He's got a receiver complete. It's Tyler Hoare. Runs a 14-yard out and a first down for the Warriors in midfield.
Unbelievable, Keith. I mean, that was actually it was a really nice throw by Joe La Rosa. But if you're Salem, how does that happen?
It was a beautiful throw by La Rosa. It was just over the outstretched hand of the defender in the flat, and it was a first down for Winnacunnet with 1:41 and 2 timeouts remaining. Still have an opportunity here to tie the game.
Hey, he throws much better running to the right than to the left. That's pretty obvious here.
1st and 10. La Rosa. He looks to roll. He's got a receiver open, and it's almost intercepted. Number 1, once again, for the Salem Blue Devils, Derek Bosworth almost intercepted that ball. Wow.
Well,
2nd and 10.
1:34 left in the game.
Ball spotted on the far hash. 2nd down and 10. 1:34. Big part of the ball game here. 2nd down. La Rosa looks to run the football, and he's got 7 yards to the 43. 1 minute 26 seconds. Time is ticking. They go hurry up. 3rd down and short. 3rd and 3. La Rosa looks to take the snap. Drops straight back. He's got a receiver open, and Granger is intercepted. The ball was intercepted. The safety was right there waiting to pick it off. That was number 20, James Ferentz. And once again, another turnover for the Warriors. And now they're in trouble with 1:11 left to play.
That's a ball game, Keith. Let's be honest. I mean, the way that Salem's running the ball, they're just going to run the ball straight at Winnacunnet right now, and just Winnacunnet will use the timeouts, but it won't be enough.
Winnacunnet has 2 timeouts, 1:11 left to play. If they do have an opportunity to get the ball back, it'll be with very, very little time. 1st down and 10 for the Blue Devils. They've played a very, very good second half.
Well, I've been very impressed with Salem since the 2nd quarter, Keith.
So this time the give is up the middle, gain of 3, and Winnacunnet's going to immediately call timeout here. 1:07 left to play, 2nd and 7 coming up.
And Salem's not going to make any mistakes, Keith. And they're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything stupid. They're not going to throw the football. They're just going to run it right at Winnacunnet. Get rid of the clock.
Nope. Yep. No, I hear you. So as we see this Winnacunnet team come to the sideline here, you know, they're going to have to try to somehow force a fumble, do something significant on defense. And, you know, it's not like we haven't seen it before in high school football, MH, but if they can't force a turnover here, then even if they can force Salem to somehow punt, there's not going to be hardly enough time left to do much.
No, and I think this is what we've seen all year from Winnacunnet. When they make a lot of mistakes and they have a lot of penalties, you know. And poor Joe has thrown 3 interceptions today, but he was kind of forced into throwing the ball in the 4th quarter. But he hasn't been throwing the ball all year. And then you ask him to come down and win a game with his arm. It's very difficult to do.
Yep. 2nd down and 7 coming up for the Blue Devils. Ball spotted right at the 20. Winnacunnet has 1 timeout remaining with 1:07 left to play. Winnacunnet clearly expecting the run here. 2nd down. They pitch out wide and they have to tackle, and they are able to stop them on no gain, and it's going to be 3rd down with 1:03. So the last timeout by WInnacunnet, and Salem's going to be able to bring this clock down close to 20 seconds before they need to punt, if they don't get a first down.
If they don't get a first down.
And Salem has timeout, so they'll take it down probably to the last second and then burn one on third down if they stay in the field of play.
And I see Joe LaRosa has separated himself from down the field from his teammates. I think he's just trying to figure out what went wrong tonight. They started in the first quarter so strong, running the football and scoring, taking the lead. And, boy, those adjustments by the Salem coaching staff were fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, WInnacunnet, they got the key turnover to start the second half and went up 13-7 and then had that 75-yard run. We called his name a lot, William Michaud. He's probably got 100 and something plus on the ground today. He's been a tremendous runner. And WInnacunnet had a couple turnovers. Salem's been able to sort of possess the ball, really tucker out and tire out this WInnacunnet defense quite a bit, and certainly time of possession. Salem certainly, I think, has won that battle. So it's a crucial third down here, 3rd and 7. Obviously, Salem makes a first down, the game is over. If they don't, then WInnacunnet will have one probably final go of it, and we have a timeout by Salem. So Salem's got a couple timeouts, so they burn one there. And, they're going to make sure that they do this right, MH, I guess.
They want no mistakes.
Right.
And Salem calls a timeout.
To be honest with you, Keith, I'm a little bit surprised. I thought that WInnacunnet would come in and handle this Salem team, especially since I saw that Salem had lost last week to a team that I didn't know was as strong as it. They must be pretty good, not that Wyndham team. So you learn something every time.
Yep. Dan, what do you think? Third down here. Obviously, you get a stop. What do you think's been the secret success for this Salem Blue Devil team today?
Adjustments, like MH said, from the second quarter, and they made some great adjustments, not only defensively but offensively.
Yeah,
that's been a key.
Yeah, the quarterback Poulin's been really, really good today. He's probably I'd say the underrated player of the game, because he's made a lot of great throws, and he's been very good. So third down, WInnacunnett's got to try to get off the field. Here comes Miller. They're going to try to run it outside. They're going to try to strip the football. They cannot. It's going to be short of the first down at the 23. And they're going to at least have to try to either punt the football or do something. We're not sure if we're going to see the Bill Belichick take a safety play, are we?
I don't think so. I think you're going to see him punt the ball.
Okay.
Punt the football, punt it on the ground. It's by the time this play goes off, it's going to be virtually no time left.
So it's 30 seconds right now. Time's running. WInnacunnet has no timeouts.
They'll take this down. Salem will take this down. They have another timeout, probably take it.
The timeout is taken right there with 21 seconds. So 21 seconds, MH, is enough time to have a special teams play and probably a play.
Yeah.
So let's see, first of all, what WInnacunnet may do here on special teams. Obviously, they can have punt block as an option.
And don't forget, early in the game, Keith, the punter did drop the snap. And so if they put pressure on him, they may get something out of this.
Yeah, sort of like the Exeter game. Exeter sent 10 to the line, and it was a jailbreak. So WInnacunnet can do something similar here.
Yeah, that's what I would do if I was a coach. Block the punt.
Yeah.
Send 10, even 11. I probably don't have anybody back here. Send all 11.
Certainly they'll have, looks like Granger's going to be back deep for WInnacunnet, and everybody else is up by the line. So probably the right time to have special play by somebody who can somehow manage to get by this first line. Again, we saw Exeter do it last week, even with a protective punt. So punter is back at his 10-yard line, actually standing at his 9. Luke Granger standing at his 48. 21 seconds left to play. Fourth down for Salem. The kick is off. It's a good kick. Yep, that's a good play by Salem. 10 seconds left. Granger really could do nothing about that.
No, bounced 15 yards in front of him, and it was just too dangerous to do.
All right, so 10 seconds left. Ball's at the 48. You have one play, maybe two.
They could probably get two quick plays, Keith, but the problem you have is you're asking Joe LaRosa to throw the football again when he's had a horrendous half throwing the football.
All right, here we go. 48-yard line for WInnacunnet. 4 receivers, shotgun look for LaRosa. LaRosa looks to throw. He's got a player open, and it's overthrown to Granger in a dangerous area. Granger takes a pretty big lick with 5 seconds left.
2nd and 10.
So they've got to go 52 yards MH, one play, and not looking good for the hometown team. They need a miracle here.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need is a miracle. And wait till you see the way Salem sets up. They're going to have so many people back, Keith, that they might not even have a line.
Well, they've got a couple people at the line, maybe four players on the line. And, they've got 4 players back in the secondary at about the 27. Here it is, and they run a little bit of a hook and lateral, and they can't even catch the ball.
And
1 second
left. So they will get one more play off, but yeah, the old that's an old favorite, the hook and lateral. That comes back from my days playing football.
Well, Granger was unable to haul it in to be able to make the lateral, and now they have to call another play here. So 3rd down and 11 with 1 second, the last play in regulation.
3rd down for the Warriors.
Got Jacob Clideris over here. And they decide to run the football. And now they're going to look to do some razzle-dazzle. And they lateral it, and now they're going to do a lateral play, and here they go. Here comes Granger. Granger's going to run with the football. Granger looks, and he laterals it back to Clideris, and they go across the field. And it's lateral to LaRosa, and now the player. Oh, and there's a penalty maybe. They don't call one. That's going to be the end of the ball game. Congratulations to the Salem Blue Devils, who played a tremendous ball game here tonight and won 20-13. And WInnacunnet, unfortunately, after a great start, now has 2 straight losses and moves to 5-2. Salem Blue Devils move to 5-2. And the craziness of Division I football certainly goes on and on to next week. So, Dan, we're going to go down to you for some final thoughts for tonight.
Well, we see WInnacunnet come into the game with a game plan. They were effective in the first quarter. Salem made some tremendous adjustments, both offensively and defensively. When I talked to Coach Pike before the game, he mentioned, I asked him about his defense, the 4-4 defense. He looked at me with a little smile, saying he had a lot of variances coming off of that because of the potent Warrior offense. Like I say, penalties, turnovers, and the lack of WInnacunnet making changes offensively. You know, it seems like they ran with what brought them here. It just didn't work tonight. So I'm sure the coaches are going to go back to the drawing board and open up different options on offense and change their approach for the balance of the year. In addition to that, I think Salem picked up a lot from a Londonderry's attack last week, offensively, when they opened it up with the passing and stuff. But it's only one game. They have to win 1 out of the next 3. You know, they're well coached. There's some great athletes, great runners, great defense. And another thing, a lot of guys played both ways tonight. And I saw them out there. A lot of them were tired. Just a matter of they have to go off the field more often. The offense has to score more points.
Hey, Dan, thank you very much. And so from our entire broadcasting crew, you've been watching Warrior football on Northampton Community Media. Final score again once tonight, Salem 20, WInnacunnet 13. For MH Libby, this is Keith Whalen wishing you all a good night.